Hey, what's up action takers? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to discuss the truth about drop shipping. Now I just want to get straight into it because there's no point of wasting your guys' time. Now I want to tell you that drop shipping is always going to be profitable. It has worked from many years and I don't see why it won't work now or in the future. A lot of people out there are very skeptic because of the nature of the business model. It has a little bit of that get rich quick business model scheme attached to it, but I don't think that is the case at all. A lot of people fall off because they don't treat their dropshipping store as a business. A dropshipping e-commerce store is actually booming right now. If you guys check out the stats, which I'm going to be showing in the screen somewhere here, and you can see that dropshipping is just increasing because of how easy it is to get into it. And basically everyone can just start up a store and start their dropshipping business. Now the reason why it has always worked in the past and why I think it's going to be working in the future is because it's as simple as the business model adapting to any changes into its environment. And what I mean by that is basically, for example, the last 3 years, people started running Facebook ads to dropship their products. Now, this wasn't the case before. People were using people were using Google ads, blogs, and even word of mouth and all that stuff to build credibility, but still use that dropshipping business model. And this is why I want to emphasize on my point that dropshipping is always going to be profitable, because like any other business models, it's going to adapt to any technology changes in our world, whether if it's a new form of ads or some sort like that. Now, Instagram ads, Facebook ads, that's our current technology that we can use today so that we can advertise the product. Now, in the next few years, there might be other methods that needs to be applied so that dropshipping can still be viable. And I don't think that's ever gonna change. And in fact, even if they remove ePacket, it's going to be fine, because the suppliers will always try to find a way to make it easier for us now that dropshipping is a really hot thing. Now, if you didn't pick up anything that I said earlier on, let's talk about dropshipping itself as a business model. The key word there is business. A lot of people are very skeptical about dropshipping because they think it's a get-rich-quick scheme. Now, it has that nature of it because, yes, you can get rich quick off it. However, the end game is to transition from a dropshipping store into a branded store. Now, that's going to be a different topic, which we're going to be talking about on other videos. But what I mean is, there's always going to be money around dropshipping. And a lot of people are really skeptic about this because they think it's some sort of pyramid scheme or some sort of scam that people do, but actually those people are the ones that either are scared or have tried it before but failed. So what you want to do is you want to treat your dropshipping e-commerce store as a business itself, and that is the only way to succeed in today's time. Unlike before, you can run ads maybe 3 years ago and you'll get like 10 cents cost per click and it will just sell straight away. Now that consumers are adapting to this, you need to be smart about this. So one key thing that you should do is to differentiate yourself from other dropshippers and stop using old methods. That is very important, because like I said, consumers have already adapted to the changes. So you need to work on your unique selling point, USP. That's really, really important, and that's how you're going to be able to generate hundreds and thousands of dollars once you figure out your own unique selling point. If you are dropshipping the same way as other people are dropshipping, then you are most likely going to fail, and that's the truth. So if you want to succeed with dropshipping, start learning how to do things, start implementing the new updated strategies, and these strategies can be found in YouTube or Google or maybe just your friends. But the most important thing is stop using the outdated strategies and start implementing the new ones. And to implement the new ones, you can look up my other contents. They are still up to date, and I still recommend that you use them if you haven't done so. Now, doing this, you're going to be able to lead the pack. Now, imagine this. Other dropshippers are using the old strategies, old methods. They're all in that one bunch at the back, okay? Now, you need to think of your unique selling point and your new strategy to be able to differentiate yourself from others. And once you go do that, then you will be able to acquire the customers or the consumers instead of the other drop shippers. So that's really, really, really important. And yes, you can still be profitable in 2019. And I believe that there is actually no such thing as a saturated product. And why I think that is because of how the market is. Imagine this, okay? Yes, a product has been scaled to millions of dollars, and we know that the product is working right now. For example, that person who scaled that to $1 million has saturated his product. And the main problem with that is you need to target different kinds of angles and all those people in different kinds of markets. So if something was working before and they were only focusing in one market, then you can come in, okay, create a different creative to market that into different customers or different kinds of audiences that they were previously marketing to. That's how you're going to be able to make easy sales. Like I said, that's your own unique selling point. So start testing different kinds of angles, different kinds of audiences, so that you don't saturate those market, okay? Now, in 2019, what I found that is working right now is actually a niche store. Now, I've always talked about a niche store, and I still highly recommend this because my niche store at the moment is doing really, really well, and it has been like that for almost a year now. If you haven't started a niche store yet, then I recommend you do so. There's a lot of advantages if you are using a niche store, and it has that branded feeling to it. Not many dropshippers are using niche stores, so that could be another unique selling point that you can apply to your current strategy. I talked about the 3 different kinds of dropshipping stores: general store, one product store, and niche store. If you want to watch that, go ahead and do so. I'm going to provide the link in the description. So I hope you guys learned something new there. Now let's talk about some questions and answers. I was going to do a live one for this. So basically, I asked people from my Facebook group to send me some questions. I was going to do live for this, but instead I'll just include this in this video since it fits right into it anyway. So if you haven't joined my Facebook group, feel free to do so. It's the first link in the description. The first question we have is from Martin Kurt. He has 2 questions. The first one is, are you using manual bidding right now for scaling, and do you have a particular strategy going forward? Now, manual bidding is a whole complete a different ball game, okay? Yes, it will work with higher budgets, but with lower budgets, it's harder to play around with that, because with manual bid, you're basically trying to manipulate the market, because Facebook ads obviously market, right? Now, this can be dangerous if your pixel is new. So I don't recommend you use manual bidding if your pixel is new, because Facebook is still identifying what the best the pocket of audience in the market for your pixel. Okay, now if you start introducing manual bidding in there, then you're just confusing your pixel. Okay, you're trying to control the market way too early. Now there's no particular strategy with manual bidding. However, it all depends on your ad account. You have to know your own KPIs. You have to know your break even, know your CPA, or even your cost per add to cart and all that stuff, because that's going to be really relevant once you start testing different kinds of manual bidding strategy. Now for my ad account, one of my ad accounts, I tried to scale with manual bidding, and the only thing that worked well for that is actually my using target cost as a manual bid and my CPA as the cost. Okay, and for my different ad account, target cost wasn't working, so I tried bid cap, and that was working for the ad account. So there's no one particular strategy that I can tell you guys. However, automatic placement is still the best way to go in my own opinion, once you have enough data in your pixel, because like I said, Facebook already knows who your market is. And also, once you have created a very strong pixel, then there's no point of manipulating the bidding system of Facebook ads. Okay. The second question he had was regarding CBOs. Do they have a similar learning phase like single interest, or is there anything different to be aware of before shutting down too early? There's no difference with that. So basically, it all depends on the impressions you get for that particular ad set. Obviously, with CBO, there will be a few ad sets that are going to dominate within that campaign, so they're going to have more impressions. But it doesn't mean that the ad sets will act differently. So the more impressions you have, the faster you will go through the learning phase. Okay? I hope I answered your question, Martin. The second question we have is from Eugene Tan. He asked, is dropshipping sustainable, or do we start with dropship and eventually plan to stock up if the product does really well? Now, I talked about this earlier on about the dropshipping business model. Now, dropshipping is always going to be sustainable, but it's the way you run your own business. Now, not many people are going to make it sustainable because they don't have the right mindset for it. So prepare yourself to succeed with dropshipping, and eventually, yes, plan to stock up if the product does really well, but also at the same time still test different kinds of products. A niche store works really well with this, especially if you have one or two winning products within that niche. Now, the next question we have is from David Pangan. Is it too late to get into the Q4 hype for a fresh store and pixel? If not, then when is a good time? Now that I've spent thousands and thousands of money with Facebook ads, I don't think there is such thing as being too late to jump into the market. Like I said previously, if you use different kinds of angles and promote your product differently from your other competitors, then that's how you're going to differentiate yourself. It doesn't matter what the time is. It doesn't matter if your store is new or your pixel is new. As long as you have your own unique selling point, you will sell your products. The next question we have by Kane. Looking back to how your last year have went, what would you have done differently, business and life-wise? I really like this question. Thank you for that. So last year I started my dropshipping. I've been doing dropshipping for almost 2 years now. And what would I have done differently? I would have failed faster. I would have tested more, failed faster, given that I had enough money for it. Okay, and I did back then. I used to work at an office job. I was an IT. It pays well. I had enough money to stay in my side hustle. But what I would have done differently is actually, test a lot more different kinds of strategies, angles, different products and all that stuff, so that I would fail more. And the reason why I want to fail more is because I want to be able to learn as fast as I can. When I started putting most of my time from my work to my dropshipping business, and this while I was still working, that's when I was able to fail more. And the more I failed, the more it put that fire in me. It just grew, and that passion was there. So I know that I wanted to fully commit to this, and obviously I failed a lot, but also I learned a lot. After failing, even if you lose $5,000, once you find one or two products, then you will be able to get that back within 1 week, and that is no joke. Okay, if you've seen other dropshippers out there with $5,000 days, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, the next question we have is from David again. Touch up on saturated niches and what it means for someone who is just starting a dropshipping. I covered this earlier on. There's no such thing as saturation. There's no such thing as saturated niche even, because there's always going to be different angles. You can hit the market with different kinds of creatives and all that stuff. Don't worry about the saturation. A lot of people have tested saturated product but put their own touch, their own unique selling point, and that's how they were able to scale that. Now, if you just started drop shipping, okay, probably stay away from the kitchen niche and the beauty niche or the health niche, because they are very, very expensive at the moment, and they have always been really competitive unless you can differentiate yourself. Okay, now we have another question here from Alan. What is the best manual bidding method you've found so far? Does the Boolean method still work today? So I talked about the manual bidding earlier on, so I'm not going to go over that. However, does the Boolean method still work today? The Boolean method, if you don't know what that is basically using manual bidding so that your ads will be at the top and more people will see it instead of your competitors. Now, the way to do that is basically, for example, if your CPA is around $10, okay, and Facebook knows that, all right? Now, if you force Facebook to spend $30 to get a purchase instead of your $10 CPA, then you're forcing Facebook to show it to as many people. The Boolean method still works, but I found that it works on some products, but also other products don't work well with it. And generally, the higher the CPA is, the better the Boolean method will work. Now, use this cautiously because it can be dangerous. It will eat up your budget really, really quick. So if you have a proven product already, Boolean method will definitely work. And when you do that, you will lower your CPM. However, it's very, very risky as well. Now, he has another question here. Best strategy for customer retention. Email marketing is still the best for this. Building my email flows and segments to last 6 months. Is this enough? Now, best strategy for customer retention is always going to be email marketing. And also start implementing SMS. So that's like texts. They also help a lot. If you haven't implemented SMS, you should, especially that Black Friday is coming up. Now, you also want to build a brand on your Facebook page or even your Instagram page. It's not just your email marketing. They all have to be congruent so that you can have one solid business that is working really, really well for you. Now, the next question we have is, or actually this is the last question, is from Joshua Nerona. He asked, how do you go about paying tax when you start making sales from New Zealand at least? The process might differ in other countries. Yes, The process might differ from other countries. I'm from New Zealand myself, and you will only pay tax if you get sales from your country. And I think that's how it works in USA as well. So for example, if you're targeting New Zealand in your ads and you get a sale from New Zealand, then you will have to pay some sort of tax. If I lived in USA, then I would have to do that as well. I hope I answered most of the questions there. I'm sorry I couldn't do a live one, but I promise I'm going to be doing one soon. And finally, I hope you guys learned something new there. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you haven't done so. I'll see you guys soon.